Hi friends, welcome back to Lost Without a Plan. If you're new here, welcome. Today we are planning my annual goals using the Makselife system. I have the A5 dot grid inserts and the A5 undated quarterly inserts. So let me just get these punched and we can get started. Okay friends, it did take a lot longer than I had expected to punch through all of these pages. I did it last time, but I do not think it took as long as it did this time. I guess I was just in a different mindset. But I wanted to say that my punch does not go through the covers that come with the inserts. So this time I purchased a set from Talia from Amazon. It included 5 discs and 5 covers, all in like standard stuff. It's like a plasticky material, but it'll serve my purpose. I do like Talia discs and I use them regularly. Because I added the A5 dot grid inserts into my plan, I pulled out all of the daily pages. I've noticed this last quarter that I haven't really been using the dailies as much as I wanted to, but I did want to have them available, so I put them in their own little notebook. And I wanted to show you kind of what I did with the spread. I have it set up so that it still starts with the month, and then it goes into the monthly goals. And then, of course, the first week actions, I will be putting the reflections across from the weekly actions. It's how I'm used to doing it. And then we have the week page, which is on the back, but then I inserted the dot grid page. The reason why I did this is because I felt like for my social media, I wanted to just use like a week's layout, but instead of buying a whole different planner, I thought, well, that's very similar to the one that the Makselife has in the dailies. So I just ended up buying an extra sheet, an extra set of paper to go across from it, and then I DIY'd myself a little week's layout. So I wanted to share that with you before we went into our goals, but now it's time to get started. So first up is the compass assessment, and I'm just going to pop these out and use just the papers. I have all the papers that I need for my annual goals, starting with the compass and reflection pages. I looked back on the last year's and the last quarter's goals just to kind of see how far I've come, and from the beginning I had a really low scores all around, and then this last season I have seen a lot of improvement. I think that it also depends on where your mindset is when you're doing your scoring. And I also was capturing data in like the half points on this one, but I think I'm just going to round for this one down and just kind of see where it goes. Overall, the scores are about the same, except for a couple of them dropped in the family and health categories, which are 2 of the areas that I would really like to focus on this season. So I'm just going to go ahead and color them in. I gave myself a 7 in the personal section, and I would hope to get to the 8, and then a 6 in the fun and recreation, and I'd like to be at a 7. Same with work and learning, a 6 and a 7. And then for family, I put that it's a 5 because I have a whole bunch of other goals this season that I feel like would make our family relationships even better. So I wanted to be sure to show that in my compass because I know that there's room for improvement. And then I gave myself 6s for the last 3 in spiritual growth, finance, and environment. And then we're going to jump over to my intentions. So question 1 is, what could I use more of in my life this year? And I had put that I think movement and family fun are what I'm lacking. And then what could I use less of? Stuff. I just want to do a big declutter situation because I have a little too much stuff, I think. Characteristics I'd like to nurture are exploration, and the habits I want to develop are learning, self-care, and movement. This year I will be more active and energized. I will do less of making excuses. I will give myself grace for needing downtime. I will let go of other people's expectations of me. I will embrace curiosity. And then for my word of the year this season, I chose experience because there are a couple of definitions for it. Mostly it means to gain wisdom through practical exposure. And I just thought that that was perfect for what I am hoping to accomplish this year. I'm just going to go back in with some colors to kind of mark the different areas of life that these sections are going to be addressing. For family fun, it's actually 2 because it's both family and fun, so I put both of them there. And then we're going to break it out my word a little bit more in the vision pages. But here's a quick look at my compass and intentions. Okay, it's time for my vision board. Now I have some very big aspirations for this page, and I'm not really sure how it's going to come out, but I do have high hopes. So first I'm going to cut the pages in half vertically, and then I'm going to add a space that goes across both pages. I chose to do it about 3 inches from the top and 3 inches from the bottom, so it should be an equidistant center section. And I love my friction. Okay, and then for the center part, I am planning to use my Moxie Washi that just came in the mail in my latest Black Friday haul. I ordered the dot grid markers the day that they came out, and I guess they weren't ready, so everything else in the order was a little bit delayed, but it finally came just in time for me to set up my goals, so I am super excited to be able to use these items in my setup. I have this. Have you ever seen those fonts that are made of tape? That was where my mind went immediately, because I have all this washi tape and I want to use it. So right now I'm just going through and choosing which colors I'm going to use for the word. The one I'm really worried about is the rounded letters, like the P, the R, and the C, but we shall see. It definitely does not have to be perfect. I am fully aware that it won't be perfect because it is a font that's made of tape. As a graphic designer, I am well aware that that's not normal. But this light purple is very light, so you can see the letter that I drew through it quite well, but I think that it's fine. Kind of gives a little bit more depth to the letter, having a little bit of a drop shadow there. And this E looks a little further away than I had hoped. It's okay. So I'm just overlapping at the edges, so there's like a little bit of a darker piece. Like if I were using a marker, which I totally could have, as you see I have millions of markers up here, but I really wanted to use the tape. So here we are, doing what we do. Actually, I'm going to come back to the C, because the C is probably my kryptonite here. I'm just going to fill in the E first, and then I might erase the C and just kind of draw it as though I think it will work with the tape. Okay, I think it's working. This one's gonna take probably 6 pieces of tape. Okay. Alright, I really like this. I think that it looks good. So next up I'm going to take my markers and just draw like a highlight at the top for all of the different areas. And then I'm going to utilize my word in each of the 8 areas of life the Makselife focuses on. On this page I'm just going to do the first 4 that use the warm colors, and on this page I'm going to use the last 4 that use the cooler tones, so that it still has the rainbow vibe, but it also kind of fits the layout inside the book. Okay, so for personal, I plan to focus on experiencing knowledge. I want to read about new subjects, learn about new places, and enhance my skills through learning. For the fun category, I plan on focusing on adventure. I want to explore new countries and cultures on our trip to Europe and find mini adventures within my state. Then for work and learning, I plan on focusing on advancement. I'd like to craft innovative campaigns, upgrade my skills and my services. And then for family, I want to focus on connection. I want to nurture my relationships to share memorable experiences with the ones I love. For health and wellness, I'd like to experience wellness. I want to commit to improved flexibility and strength, daily movement, and self-care. Then for spiritual and personal growth, I want to experience enrichment. I want to foster personal growth through reflection and habits for mindful living. Then for finances, I want to experience stability. I'd like to practice mindful spending to stay on track with my expenses, their updates, and encouraging financial security. Then for environment, I'd like to experience comfort. I'd like to keep a well-managed home and reliable transportation for a feeling of peace within my surroundings. So I really like how this vision board came out. I am very excited for the next part. So let's break into it right now and jump over to annual goals. First, I wanted to show you that the Makselife system has printables, free printables, so you don't ever have to buy their planner until you're ready. They have all kinds of printables. They have the annual goals worksheets, the intentions worksheets, the quiz, as well as an ideal week. And the ideal week is one of my favorite ones because I can kind of map out where I want my season to go. Okay, let's get into these annual goals. So I want to use my Makselife stencil. My plan is to draw a little circle along the top and make that like a button that says my experience, knowledge, adventure, etc. So I can keep the focus on every single page of what my plan is. And then I'm going to kind of draw in a little backdrop, and then I'll be able to fill in the words. These pens are very, very wet, so I might have to give it a little bit of time to dry on some of them. So I'm going to kind of offset and then switch the highlighter. Okay, so it looks like my friction pen does not work on top of the highlighter for the dot pens, so I'm going to use my Sarasa Dry. I believe this is the Sarasa R, and I'm just going to use it. It is much darker and it seems to be working without smudging, so we're just going to go with it. Okay, for the personal section, I would like to experience knowledge. As I said, my plan is to focus on reading and then my channel. So for my reading goals, I want to read at least 6 books a month. Through my book clubs, I'd like to focus on having a little bit more fiction since it's more fun reading. And then I'd like to still have 1 self-improvement book per month. And then for Lost Without a Plan, that's just really, really wet. But it's working. I just wanted to use a little tissue for that. Didn't go through though. Okay, so my focus for Lost Without a Plan is I'd like to build community through consistency and perhaps a couple of collaborations this year. And I don't know if that means PR teams or whatnot, but I will figure it out as I go. And then for my goals, then my next goal is to update my skill set through BSP, which is the class that I already purchased, and then through Skillshare. I'm just going to explore some new classes there. This will improve my life by expanding my possibilities and knowledge. And then on to the second section, which is fun and recreation. This section is experience adventure. For this section, I have a couple of sections within. I generally separate this section by seasons, so I wanted to focus first on local fun. We do have memberships to a couple of museums and fun places, so I would like to use those and then have some weekend camping trips with the family. In the summertime, we are planning to go to Europe. We have a big tour scheduled where we're going to visit, I don't know, 7 or 9 countries, I'm not sure. But it will be a blast, and I am very excited to experience Europe with Violet. And then I'm going to have other break fun in here just because summer is like 3 months long and Europe is only like a few weeks. So we're going to fill that in with other fun things that I would plan in Q1. And then another section here is personal, and for that I have my upcoming planner conference. That's just in January, so it's coming really fast. And then I want to go on a wine trip with my girlfriends, and then we also have December fun, which happens every year, but I'm not sure what we're going to put in there, but it has to be on the schedule. And then for work and learning, my focus is experiencing advancement. I have 2 sections for this. I have my freelance business and then my work for the magazine. For freelance, I'd like to expand my offerings and build clientele. And then for magazine, I would like to focus on internal organization and expanding my creativity. For both of these, I would like to expand by using business courses, both through Skillshare and through the Purpose Driven Mom Club and other external courses that I'll find along the way. And then for my, I forgot to put for fun and recreation, I will improve my life by enjoying life to the fullest. And then for work and learning, I will have enhanced creativity in my personal goals. Then for family and relationships, my goal is to experience connection. I have 2 sections here, one for family and one for friends. For family, I would like to focus on having date nights at least quarterly. If not monthly would be better, but quarterly works too. And then quality time with Violet. For friends, I want to have monthly plans with at least one friend. I'd like to try to reach out to a few friends weekly and possibly by text or also snail mail. And that will improve my life by making sustainable memories. For health and wellness, my goal is to experience wellness. I want to do that through 2 different sections. One is daily movement and one is balanced self-care. My life will improve with these goals by feeling my best inside and out. Now, to break this down a little further, for daily movement, I'm still focusing on Pilates. I would like to up it 1 time a week for 4 times a week total so I can hit 200 classes. Then I also like to walk regularly 3 to 5 times a week. I have a little plan for that. I'm hoping to scaffold it so that I can build up to 5 times a week. I would really like to be able to walk around Europe without getting tired. And then I'm also focusing on balanced self-care. I am going to focus on vitamins, doctor's visits, allergen exploration, and dental visits. For spiritual and personal growth, I'm focusing on experiencing enrichment through creative growth and community outreach. In the creative growth section, I want to focus on having a daily journal, doing weekly reflections with my Makselife system, and then in personal learning with a personal course in either French or other fun things like calligraphy and, stuff that makes my mind work. Gives me a little creative outlet. And then also community outreach. I am focusing on being a Girl Scout troop leader and on the Girl Scout management team. Okay, next up is finance, and I would like to experience stability in this section, keeping consistent finances, mindful spending, and future planning. I expect my life to improve in this section by having increased funds, which for more fun experiences. How I'm going to do this is in consistent finances. I plan to do monthly billing for my freelance, make timely deposits into the bank, and do an expense update quarterly. For mindful spending, I just want to make more conscious decisions and conscientious decisions and just kind of give myself time to think about something before I actually push purchase. And then for future planning, I want to kind of do a little bit more living trust research. It was on the radar for last year, but it didn't get done, so I just pushed it to this one. It is definitely a goal of mine to have a plan, so that is on my goal list. And then lastly is physical environment, and for this section I am focused on experiencing comfort. I have 2 sections here. I have my home CEO and my car care sections. For home CEO, I plan to keep up with decluttering, focus a little bit on deep cleaning, making routines and habits that help us kind of keep things in order, and doing weekly resets. For car care, I would like to focus on regular maintenance, a monthly car wash, and a weekly tidy. And by doing these things, my life will improve by having an organized, breathable space. Okay, and I think that is it. So I'm just going to snap all of these back into my binder along with the compass assessment, and we'll do a final flip through here. Thank you guys so much for spending this time with me today and going through my goals. It really does mean a lot to me that you would spend all this time with me to see what's going on with me. I am very excited about this vision board. I think it's beautiful. So back to the beginning, we focused on the compass assessment. We laid out my intentions for the year. We looked at my word of the year. We did an in-depth fleshing out of the word of the year for experience in all the different areas of life and what that word means to me. And then we broke down the annual goals in each category. And here's the final flip through of that. I'm really excited for our trip to Europe and for the learning I have planned for this year. Also for all the fun connections that we're going to make. But mostly my big focus is going to be health and wellness and keeping a consistent movement activity as well as personal growth with the journaling. So thank you guys so much for planning with me today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And let me know in the description below what your big goal is for 2024. I will catch you next time. Have a great day.